Oh, oh, hey, we're live.
We are.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I did it. I did it before we
Uh,
expected. Here, take a
let
microphone.
me get the mic.
Take
Where's
a
the mic?
microphone. Let's set up here.
Set up.
Oh
Wow.
boy.
Okay.
Oh boy. Hey everybody. What's up? It's me. It's AJ. How you doing, AJ?
I'm doing good, man. I'm just trying to. Thank God for the last fight. It woke me up. I mean, it was a rough night. I found.
Talking to your microphone.
Am I talking again? Here
There
we
you
go.
go. That's better.
Yeah. Very. Go
Hey
ahead.
everybody on YouTube. I'm gonna open up the thing. Check your comments. We have a still UFC middleweight champion. I guess his title wasn't even on the line though, right?
Technically, no.
Whitaker beats Yoel in the main event. Wins a split decision, 48-47, 48-47, 47-48. You guys agree with the decision? Did Whitaker win? I thought he did. I agreed with the decision. I thought Whitaker was the winner in this fight. I scored it 48-47 for Whitaker. Some people are saying that the last round, the fifth round, should have been a 10-8 for Romero. Maybe so. Getting comments already. Our man Wally out in Ireland checking in. He thinks Romero took the fight.
It was enough. I mean, it was a tight fight, but Whitaker was, he won it. I mean, Rogan was saying the crowd was booing. I don't know where I didn't hear the crowd booing. But anyways, it was a great fight by Romero, but it was a greater fight by Whitaker. Being able to take the couple of like heavy punishment shots that Romero was throwing. I mean, he was throwing Mike Tyson bombs. I mean, he was off the ground at times, just like in the air, throwing his rights, and Whitaker was able to take it. I mean, this guy does not have a glass chin. He was able to continue the fight with like great like strategy. I mean, he's just a smart fighter, and he's worthy of being a champion.
I agree.
Thank you, Dave.
I agree with that. I think Whitaker won the fight. I think he showed a lot of heart and guts, taking a lot of big shots from Yoel Romero. I think he put together a solid performance tonight. But I can understand how some people might feel that Yoel won the fight. Like, it wasn't a convincing victory for Robert Whitaker. He didn't finish Yoel. He lost some rounds.
Yeah, but,
You know, it wasn't a dominant performance from Whitaker. He won, in my opinion. I think he won. But I think you could definitely make an argument that Yoel Romero won the fight tonight. You know, some people are saying it was a robbery. I don't know if it was a robbery. I think that's pushing it a little
robbery,
bit far.
no.
But it was a close fight that I think could have gone either way. You know, I don't think that Yoel got robbed. I think he put in a good effort, maybe good enough to win. But I think Whitaker put in an effort that was good enough to win as well. And sometimes when you have a 25-minute fight that's really tight like that, it's going to go one of two ways, you know? It was a split decision. 48-47, 48-47, 47-48. That means 3 rounds to 2 for Whitaker, 3 rounds to 2 for Whitaker, and 3 rounds to 2 for Yoel. One of the judges thought Yoel Romero won the fight, and I think that's indicative of what we're seeing, you know, from commentary, from Twitter, from YouTube, from everywhere. It's a feeling that, hey, you know, some people thought Whitaker won, but some people thought Yoel won. And that's how the judges felt as well. 2 of them felt that Whitaker won, and 1 of them felt Yoel won.
Which makes for a great final fight. And we can't forget also, I mean, we heard that Whitaker pretty much broke his hand in the first round. So we're talking about a guy fighting with a damaged hand, going 5 rounds. So, it just goes to show what kind of a beast Whitaker is. And he fought it. And I knew there was something wrong. I couldn't really tell. I knew that Romero's knees were buckled. I mean, Whitaker was throwing these beautiful stomp kicks to keep the distance so he could throw in his combinations and throw those kicks. And that's pretty much what was keeping him like through the fight, the stomp kicks. But again, he was fighting with a broken hand. So like kudos to Whitaker.
Yeah, it was a good fight. It was a good performance. Um,
It just was long, man. It was a long, long card.
it was a very long card. 13 fights tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And the last two fights going the distance, it was just kind of long. It was just kind of dragging on.
They all went
And
to
look, it was a good fight. It was a good close fight, but it wasn't super exciting until, I guess, what was it,
the
the
third
third round?
round. Yeah.
Yeah, the third round is when it really picked up. But those first two rounds were kind of,
They were rough, man. It
you
was
know,
like it was pretty much the tail of the tape from like the first fight with CM Punk all the way to the end. I mean, CM Punk's. I mean, we're jumping into that, but I found that the most exciting fight in some strange way. Throughout this card, other than the third round on the final fight where everyone came back to life. I mean, we had to drink like some serious coffee, and I'm sure Wally and all the rest did as well. But it was I was expecting a lot more like fireworks in this card. It was supposed to be like the best card ever, and I don't know if it'll really live up to that hype, Dave.
no, I think it was an okay card, but I agree with you. I thought the CM Punk thing was the most fun thing on the card.
I
And it wasn't supposed to be, It was kind of a bad fight. After the first round, Punk seemed like he really had nothing left.
but he gave his heart. That's one thing you can like they both did. I mean, Jackson a little bit was
No,
like,
look, he gave it his
yeah.
all, but, it was a mismatch, and it was clear in this fight that Punk just doesn't have the skills to hack it in MMA.
But much better than his first fight. I mean, he was throwing like Muay knees. He tried to go for a couple of submission attempts at some point. I mean, he was a better fighter, but not
He was a better fighter than he was last time around,
right.
but he still wasn't good enough to be in the UFC.
Yeah, I don't think he's good enough to be on the main card for any future fights if he decides to fight again, which I seriously think he probably will not. But you know what? I got to give him credit. I mean, it shows that he was working on his game, his
Yeah.
grappling game and stand up. And at one point, honestly, we were cheering because we really thought that CM Punk was going to win. And he did have a nice takedown.
He won the first round, I thought.
Yeah, he
but
won the first round.
The judges scored it 30-26,
Which doesn't make sense.
which means Punk lost the first round according to the judges.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought he won the first round.
Yeah, I gave the first round to him.
Seeing comments here, Antoinette says she got lots of coffee because she fell asleep, which, I did too. I was dozing off during parts of this card.
The cat fell asleep right in back of me here.
And Wally says the Punk fight he couldn't take his eyes off of. And, that's how I felt. Of course, it was earlier on in the night, but I feel like you could have put that fight any time during the card, and it would have kept my attention, and I would have stayed awake.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas some of these other fights, like the main event, I was kind of, dozing off in and out because it just wasn't that compelling, and there really wasn't anything on the line. It was a fight that I saw a year ago. This wasn't the best main event, for this card. Like, we had some good fights top to bottom on the card, but as far as the main event, the Whitaker Romero fight wasn't the fight I was most excited for on this card.
Which one was it?
Punk.
Of course. Which turned out to
And
be a
even
pretty
then,
exciting fight in some way.
And it was interesting, it was fun, but I think I've seen enough with CM Punk. I'd like to see him go back into pro wrestling. I don't think he doesn't belong in the UFC. I don't think he should get another fight in the UFC. After that display, we know now what he's capable of.
I think Joe Rogan...
We've given him several years of trying MMA and being a professional MMA fighter. That's enough. Like, he tried it. He looked better tonight than he did in his last fight. He went 15 minutes in the octagon. Good for him. But I don't want to see him fight in the UFC anymore. There's no point to it. He's never going to get an opponent worse than Mike Jackson.
No, what I think would be awesome...
So what's the point?
No, I mean, maybe not as a main card, but maybe on some, like fight night card or like some prelim or, like, fight pass. I mean, Joe Rogan was, like, nailing this guy. Just till the end, he started, like, throwing in some good comments about CM Punk. But that would be a good fight. Joe Rogan against CM Punk.
Well, Rogan has said he couldn't pass the drug test. So I doubt Rogan
Tonight
fights
as well.
CM Punk. I thought Rogan and the other guy, Jimmy Smith, were a little bit unfair to Punk during that thing.
Oh
They were
yeah,
just burying him over and over again.
uncalled for.
I thought it was a little bit rough. Antoinette says Punk's in the hospital now, and she's worried about him. I don't know. I think it's probably just precautionary.
Yeah.
I hope Punk is okay, but
Oh, he's okay. He's just like cut up.
he's
They have
done.
to do CT scans, make sure he has no concussions. It's like normal stuff.
I think he's done.
Yeah, I think he's done as well. And you know what? I
You
think
just
it
said
would.
you wanted to see him fight again in the UFC, and
I'd
now,
no,
and now you're agreeing with me somehow.
no, I do. I like deep down, I want to see him again, and I'm sure a lot of people want to see him as well. But you know,
I don't.
I
I
know.
wanted to see him try again after the last time, but after this, we've seen the full range of CM Punk. We've seen what he's capable of. He's been training for a while. He's 40 years old. Like, there's a limit here.
39, but close.
Yeah, well, he's going to be 40 if he fights again.
And what's it saying?
Wally is saying that Rogan was very harsh on Punk
And very
and too
complimentary.
complimentary about Covington. I'm not too happy with Kobe Covington. I think that his gimmick is really fake. I don't believe anything he says. I think he's a borderline racist.
What?
Some of the
Really?
things he says about Brazil. Yeah.
Oh, about the Brazil thing for sure. I mean,
Yeah, I don't like the things that Kobe Covington is saying. I'm not happy with his fighting style. I thought his fighting style was super boring tonight. That was the fight that really started my UFC nap. I mean, him and Dos Anjos was just a snooze fest. Kobe Covington just kind of, shooting in for the takedown.
7 in total, which was pretty good.
Getting takedowns, but really doing nothing with them. And that's what won him the fight. Bunch of takedowns that went nowhere.
His clinch game was not too bad. That was helping him. But
So he was clinching Dos Anjos up against the fence and taking him down a few times, and that won him a 25-minute fight. Boring.
yeah, it wasn't.
I think, and I was not impressed with Kobe Covington. I think Tyron Woodley, like the best version of Woodley, will beat Kobe Covington.
Well, he called out Woodley, and he sounds really confident in wanting to fight him. And obviously, in his mind, he thinks he can beat Woodley. But I mean, you know what? It wasn't like a bad fight on Colby's side. It wasn't a bad fight. I mean, he's fighting
Well,
RDA, and he fought it well. And RDA was like, they went 5 rounds. What was it? Yeah, they went to 5 rounds, and
he did what he had to do to win. But what he did to win wasn't super exciting. He didn't come anywhere near finishing Dos Anjos in that fight. And that's why I appreciated the Romero and Whitaker fight way more than the Dos Anjos Covington fight. Because in Yoel and Whitaker, there were moments where you thought, oh, this guy's about to go to sleep. This guy's about to get knocked unconscious, right?
Yeah.
There were shots where you thought Yoel was going to go down, and there were shots where you thought Whitaker was going to go down. That was a good fight.
yeah.
The Dos Anjos and Covington fight, there wasn't a single moment during that whole fight where you thought somebody was going to get finished. It wasn't even close. And when you have a 25-minute fight where there's not a single moment during it where you think, this is about to end, it's not a good fight.
Yeah, you're right.
You need those moments in the fight where you think, oh, this is about to finish here. In pro wrestling, we call it a false finish. But in fighting, we call it, moments of high drama. And risk-taking. And, exciting fights.
You're right, man.
But in the Covington Dos Anjos fight, it just wasn't exciting because there wasn't a single point where I thought, oh, Covington's about to finish Dos Anjos here. He didn't have him in a single moment of danger. He had him in bad positions.
Right.
He had him in spots where Dos Anjos couldn't really do anything, but he didn't put him in danger. Yoel Romero was in danger tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Whitaker was in danger.
Yeah, you're right.
Dos Anjos and Covington fought each other for 25 minutes,
But there was no
but
danger.
neither put the other man in any kind of danger.
That's right. That's right. And I don't think Colby, like seeing today's fight or tonight's fight, I don't like if he's meeting Woodley, like which is going to happen at some point. I don't think he has it to beat Woodley.
I don't think he has it to beat Woodley. He definitely doesn't have it to beat George St. Pierre.
No, I don't think so. Not at all. But then again, we could be wrong, right?
I would love for GSP or Woodley or whoever to smash this guy because I don't like him. I don't like his act. I don't like his Trump-loving ways. I don't like any of that. It's just it's a gimmick meant to troll MMA fans, and it's just kind of distasteful.
Yeah,
And his fighting style isn't that great. Like if the guy came in and knocked people out and was really exciting to watch, I might not dislike him as much. But like he talks his big game, and then he goes in there and he fights like that. It's like, yeah.
And then he ends it with a big big mouth. But anyways,
Yeah, it's a lot of talk.
I'm sure the
But
Brazilians are not happy tonight.
There's no real beef behind that talk. It's just nonsense.
I know one guy's not happy. He's Renato Laranja. If he's listening, I forgot to wear your T-shirt. I'll wear it next time. But go after Colby, Renato. Forget about Vinny.
You wore a soccer jersey here.
I did.
You've got a Manchester United jersey.
That's right. So for all the Liverpool fans, please don't get upset. I got the hat at home, but Manchester. And Dave, he's wearing the 2006 France shirt that lost to guess who? Italy, who's not in the World Cup this year, but still beat them in 2006. Thanks to Materazzi and Zidane's headbutt. Thank you, Zidane.
Well, France has 100% more of a chance in this year's World Cup than Italy does.
100%
100%
right. Egypt
more
has a better
chances.
chance. But, look, I'm not saying... I think France has a great team for the World Cup.
Way better team than Italy does because
Well,
they're not
you know what?
in it.
They lost 3-1. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, it's going to be... Well, you know what? We're going to talk about this again in 2 years from now when they play the Euro. It's going to be a different Italian team.
Why
Guaranteed.
don't we talk about it in a month from now when France has won the World Cup?
Well, you're right.
When I can add another star to this jersey, my friend.
Right above that rooster.
We got one
Shake
star.
and bake, baby. Shake and bake. But I think the favorite to win the World Cup, if you don't mind me putting it in, I think Brazil has a really good chance.
I knew that was coming.
That's right.
Mr. Brazil over here.
No, it's
if
just
it's not
like
Italy, it's Brazil.
Since RDA lost and Colby, dissed all the Brazilians. Thank you. Hold it. Brazil's going to win.
Okay, we have Lucrezia D'Amato who says she's craving a beaver tail right now. How did the beaver do in the picks? We had our fight picks, and it was me versus Fred and versus Anthony. Now Fred's not here. Playing the role of Fred tonight is little man over here, Kevin Owens. This is our Fred.
Mini Fred.
This is mini Fred. Should we get
Actually,
him?
it looks like him. It really looks like Fred.
It kind of does look like Fred.
Yeah, it really does. So if you want to know what Fred looks like, this is him.
Kind of looks like Kevin Owens. Or if you want to know what Fred looks like, go to
Fred Owens.
go to your Twitter page. You posted a picture of Fred last night.
I did. He looked great.
It was a great picture.
So Danny Brooke, check it out. And make the match. Agree if it looks like Fred or not.
I think Wally actually gave me this Fred Owens. So thank you.
Serious?
Thank you, Wally, for baby Fred.
Oh, Fred is down. Fred, TKO.
All right.
Here we go.
Okay.
Again?
Yes, Wally did indeed. Thank you, Wally. Thank you for sending us the Fred Owens. My son actually plays with him quite a bit. He likes him a lot.
You know, it all started weird tonight with, I think it was... Who was it? It was...
It started weird when you walked in and you scared...
Other than that, yeah.
You scared my son. My son started crying when he saw you. I don't know what it is.
It's probably my glasses that I wear or whatnot. Maybe my ears. I don't have no idea.
I think it's your general demeanor that.
Or maybe it's because I come in here really loud. That's what I think. Mm-hmm. I come in here barking and screaming.
Yeah, still loud. It's 2 a.m. I have neighbors,
Yeah, but it's Verdun. They all scream around here.
Don't give away the secret location. What are you doing?
What did I say?
Shut up.
You know what I'm saying. What did AJ
all right, we got,
surprise you? Oh, what did AJ surprise you?
Let's see. Fred got knocked out. And then Antoinette says, what did AJ surprise you with? Do tell Dave. Yes, AJ came in tonight with some very special meat that he brought me. AJ's special meat.
You like that, eh? I'm sure you do.
It was, it's like prosciutto, but it's not prosciutto. It's what? What's it called?
Lonza.
Lonza.
Yeah. Did you bring KFC? You know what? I didn't bring KFC this time.
But he did bring me some nicely cured meat that his mom and uncle made.
Uncle Benny.
Uncle Benny.
Don't forget Uncle Benny. Hey.
Hey. So yeah, I was very happy. Thank you, by the way.
He likes my meat.
Well,
That's all right.
I haven't
That's
tasted
understandable.
your meat yet.
Let's hope it doesn't go that way. But
But
anyways,
I am very happy that I get like the nice Italian like homemade stuff, the nice wine, the nice meat. It's good.
that's why I brought it. You could work on baby number 2.
I was kind of hoping for some cannoli, to be honest. So
That's better than cannolis, man. You know,
yeah, I know, but
that's like the Ferrari of meats.
but I have coffee like I wanted a dessert. You know,
I don't
I
know
didn't
if
have
Wally knows
anything.
what we're talking about because out in
Do
Ireland, I don't know
you
if they eat
guys
like
have
prosciutto.
cannoli? You guys have cannoli in Ireland, Wally?
No, not cannolis, prosciutto, man.
I don't know.
Wally's out. It's all right, Wally. I'll get you some. I'll bring you some Montreal style smoked meat. I bet Wally's never tried that. Dave?
Wally says in Ireland we only eat potatoes. Antoinette says she's
bangers
gonna,
and mash.
Antoinette says she's gonna mail Wally some cannoli, so that's.
Well, I'm
real
sure
nice.
Wally will like that.
Why'd you say it like that?
Well, what did I say wrong?
I don't know.
I mean, he'll like that. Why not?
yeah.
It's not only about like fighting. It's all about love here at the ringsidereport.net.
Antoinette says she wants smoked meat. Maybe we should send it to her. I think she's in Toronto. They don't have good smoked meat in Toronto.
Really? Yeah, it's true. It's like that fake stuff. I know.
And
I've been there.
Lucrezia says she can cook us an Italian meal. She's a good cook.
Very nice.
So let's go.
Bring the prosciutto.
Where are you, Lucrezia? I mean, we're ready. We'll go. We'll eat at your place. AJ, do you know anything about this?
No, but it could be interesting. What was I gonna say? There's so many like people talking about food. It feels like Anthony Bourdain and we're gonna take over. That's pretty sad, actually. I shouldn't have said that. But
What are
anyways,
you, Johnny North, talking about suicide now on my
no,
show?
Johnny North is right.
Johnny North's always talking about suicide on the
Is
show,
he? Yeah.
and now you're bringing it up. What the hell is going on here?
Well, you know what?
Antoinette and Wally know exactly what I'm talking about. You see, that's what I like about this. Antoinette and Wally are here, and they're here when I'm here with Johnny North, so we can discuss things together here on this YouTube show that you don't have any idea about.
Wrestling Uncensored, you're talking about.
Antoinette's asking me if Johnny won tonight. Johnny had a match in Ontario somewhere tonight. I don't know if he won. I have no idea.
Johnny always wins. He's not Johnny North for nothing.
See, clearly you don't listen to Wrestling Uncensored. Johnny always loses.
I know.
It's Johnny the Jobber North. I love
Poor
him,
Johnny.
He's a winner to me. In my mind, he's
In my
a winner.
mind too, man.
It's just the stupid promoters don't book him to win enough. He should be the champion.
I'm gonna tell you what. Johnny needs me as a manager. Get me as a manager, Johnny. You're winning all the time.
Johnny,
if not, I'm jumping in the ring as well.
See, that's why he doesn't need you as a manager, because you're going to get him in trouble with the promoters because you don't know how to stick to the script, and you would
true.
jump into the ring. You don't stick to a script. And when you don't stick to the script in wrestling, you get in trouble.
Like Vince McMahon that you were talking to me about before. I thought it was all like play, but apparently he's really what were you saying, Dave, before?
Antoinette says that Johnny needs me as his manager.
Dave Simon?
I agree.
I agree. Actually, you've got a point. But what I think is that we should go in as a team. Johnny's team. I've always said that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And Wally Burns says, Naito, where you at, Naito?
Naito, what the
You
heck
see
is
what
that?
happens? You see what happens, Naito? You see what happens, Anthony? Naito saw what happened. He got beat up by Chris Jericho.
Okay.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
New episode of What's Phantom in Japan is coming very soon, okay? This week, I'm going to do a new episode of What's Phantom in Japan. We're going to review New Japan's Dominion.
Okay.
We're talking wrestling.
Okay.
Let's get back to the UFC.
Scary stuff, man.
Although Wally is asking me what I think of the Corey Graves comments, which is kind of UFC and kind of pro wrestling at the same time, I think Corey Graves is a piece of garbage.
Ooh.
How do you like that? Corey Graves is a wrestling announcer. He's an ex-wrestler. And when he did wrestle, by the way, he looked like a broke version of CM Punk. Okay, when he was in NXT, Corey Graves, he looked like a wannabe CM Punk. And now he doesn't wrestle. Okay? He's a commentator, and he's not very good at it. He tries real hard, and he's just not good. Commentary in WWE is bad. Now, Corey Graves, after CM Punk lost, tweeted the following.
What?
Maybe abandoning everybody who stood by your side, even when we weren't supposed to, only to have you turn your back on us wasn't the right move after all. No anger, only sadness. Seems pretty bitter. Doesn't seem like it's just sadness there, Corey Graves. He continues, seems the fans are disappointed. Maybe you guys should know that that dude held my first son before I did because I was on tour and I trusted him. I had dinner with him the week after he quit. The first rule of punk rock is loyalty, and this guy betrayed it all.
What? Are you serious?
Who knew there were rules to punk rock? I still love you, friend, and I'm sorry you got lost. Doesn't seem like he still loves him. That does not seem
like a friend.
Doesn't seem like a friend or anything said out of love. When a guy just gets beat on UFC TV, does something that you don't have the balls to do, Corey Graves, you're going to go out and tweet this stuff about him, and you're going to have the balls to say you're his friend and you love him? Corey Graves continues, don't worry, Vince McMahon has nothing to do with you. You either, Triple H. This isn't corporate. This is real life. Calm down, internerds.
Okay.
I would reply this to Corey Graves. Mm-hmm. Why don't you be CM Punk's next opponent in the UFC? See how you like it.
I was about to say that.
Or why don't you be my next opponent in the UFC and see how you like it?
Oh, that's.
I don't think you would like it too much, Corey Graves, because I think you've got concussion problems. That's why you can't wrestle anymore.
And you suck. No one says that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's just completely rude to come out and say that kind of stuff about a guy that you're saying is your friend. He's not your friend. And look at this jabroni, Anthony.
Let me see.
Doesn't he look like a broke-down version of CM Punk? Doesn't he look like a wannabe CM Punk? That's the guy.
It looks like Pink. Is that?
Yeah, exactly. He looks like Pink. I'm surprised you know who Pink is.
I'm getting better.
That's the guy who's talking smack about CM Punk.
Are you serious? That Punk?
Yeah, that guy.
You know, I'm going to tell you this right now. So if you're listening, CM Punk, I got to... Look, the best way to leave the UFC is fighting that Punk. And he calls himself a friend. That's no friend. I say, Fight Night, Graves, CM Punk, I'll be watching it. And I'm sure Dave will too.
Graves does not have the balls to do that.
Of course not. Not too many people can. And that's why I said it like yesterday's show live. I said, you know what?
Antoinette says he's a lousy wrestler and he's kissing ass now.
Yeah, for sure he's kissing ass.
Wally says as if he had stayed in touch with Graves, that would have somehow made him win tonight.
Yeah, right.
Good.
With a hairdo that guy had, forget it. There's no way.
And Antoinette says, watch Monday in the WWE. There's going to be a lot of smart-ass comments because Punk won his court case and Money in the Bank is in Chicago. That makes sense.
I don't know. But either or, I mean, it was a good, exciting fight to start this card. So, you know,
it was fun.
CM Punk did well. He had the balls to do this. And I kept saying it. Now, how many guys are able to do this? To go in front of, like, his hometown. I thought he was going to win it. At one point, I really thought he was going to win it. Regardless, somebody's going to win in a fight. Someone's going to lose in a fight. But, you know what? He fought well, considering.
He fought.
He
survived. That guy Mike Jackson was toying around with him a lot. I would have liked for Jackson to maybe do less playing around and more trying to finish the fight.
What?
Like, if it's that easy for you, Mike Jackson, why don't you finish him?
He couldn't. You know? CM Punk was fighting with heart. Respect.
Holly Holm had a nice performance tonight. She beat Megan Anderson by unanimous decision.
That was good.
I thought that was...
I was surprised.
All right.
I was surprised because Fred did change his pick last night, and he went to the other side with the Beaver. But I was surprised that Holly pretty much dominated this fight. Did you not?
I was not surprised that Holly dominated the fight. Holly is a... You know, there's levels to this game, and Megan Anderson had never fought anybody to the caliber of a Holly Holm. I picked Holly to win. I thought the fight would go pretty much the way it did. Yeah,
it was a total, grappling, controlling game by Holly. I mean, it was a good fight. I mean, for Holly anyways. But I thought Megan's, I don't know, bubble was burst tonight. A lot of people came in saying, she's going to fight Cyborg and all this kind of stuff.
Wally is saying that she can thank Dana for not fighting Cyborg. And,
oh, my God.
Yeah, I think she would have got smashed by Cyborg. And now I wonder what you do with Holly Holm. Do you have her fight Cyborg now? We just saw that. and it was a close fight, but Cyborg won.
Yeah.
Do you have Holly drop back down to 135 and fight Amanda Nunes for the belt there? I don't really know what you do with Holly Holm.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes at this point. So maybe Holly Holm, despite the fact she got a big win tonight, is on the outside looking in as far as the title scene.
Yep. Nunes. Yeah. Well.
Nunes says she wants to fight Holly Holm, apparently. That's what we're seeing here, according to Wally, but I don't know. Is that the fight you want to see? Nunes and Holly Holm?
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
I'd rather see Nunes and Cyborg. No?
Yeah, it's a tough fight for Cyborg. Like she says, she doesn't want to fight a fellow Brazilian, but I can see like
I don't like that fellow Brazilian. Who cares?
the Brazilians care. I mean, for myself too. I mean, it would be an interesting fight with Holly. I think it could be a good prelude to Cyborg. At least we'll get a couple more fights in there that'll be exciting before we go right to the meat.
So what do you want to do?
Nunes against Holly first.
All right. Well, it hasn't been done yet, so
Could be an interesting fight.
Holly did say she was interested in that 135 belt, so maybe Nunes and Holly is the fight to make right now. Maybe it is. Wally says Nunes versus Nia Jax. Ronda Rousey's going to be taking on Nia Jax. Ronda Rousey, by the way, going into the UFC Hall of Fame, the first female to be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. Ronda's in the WWE, and she's taking on Nia Jax at that Money in the Bank show that they have coming up. Elsewhere on this UFC 225 card, you had Tay Tuivasa beating Andrei Arlovski by decision. Nice win there for Tuivasa, who improves to 8-0. This was the first time Tuivasa went to decision. Every other win finishing by knockout. This was a close fight though between
It was close.
Tuivasa and Arlovski, and some people thought Arlovski won.
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, it was close. I mean, it was a good battle. I'm surprised that Ty took such a beating and still managed to stay there. And you know what? It was just it was an interesting fight. I mean, it wasn't a great fight. I think Arlovski's at his end of days, as many of the fighters that we've seen in the last little while, in the last months, anyways. Yeah, it was an okay fight. You know, just a weird walkout song by Ty. I mean,
I thought that
coming
was
out,
the best part coming out to Celine Dion there,
Yeah.
the Titanic song.
well, this
I
car
thought that
almost
was-
sank like that ship. So, like, you know what? Like, it was not a good
This-
choice. Tonight's walkout songs were all weird.
This card felt like the Titanic. Like
man.
it looked really nice and big and shiny from the outside, and it seemed like it was going to be a great success. And then as soon as it took off, it just kind of started sinking.
Near and far, man. It almost went down. The best walkout song of the night was Holly. At least she came out with like some Zeppelin. The rest of the guys were like it was weird, man.
I thought the best walkout was CM Punk. Cult of Personality.
Yeah, that was good.
Antoinette
That was good.
agrees. She's putting it
Yeah,
out
it was
there, right
good.
there. Let's see what else happened here tonight. Claudia Gadelha with a nice win over Carla Esparza. Split decision win there for Claudia. She took a beating in the third round,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
thought she won the first two. Curtis Blades with a nice win over Alistair Overeem. Look out for
Yeah.
Curtis Blades. He beats Overeem by TKO here tonight in the third round. Blades is now 10-1. The only guy that's beat him is Francis Ngannou. Blades has now beat Mark Hunt. He beat Alexei Olenek, Mark Hunt, and Alistair Overeem in 3 straight fights. That's a nice little run for Curtis Blades. He's in the mix as far as heavyweight titles are concerned.
Yeah, but you're looking at two guys that I was just talking about that pretty much, I think, you know, Overeem is, I think he's done. And it's too bad because he's one of my favorite fighters of all time, but his time has come and he's going to have to step away for his own health. I mean, tonight he kind of, you know, he didn't look good. And I don't want to even see him like going towards Bellator, which might be an option if he does leave the UFC, but I think he needs to like step back and retire.
I don't think Overeem is going to retire. The guy's only 38 years old, and before losing to Blades and Ngannou in back-to-back fights, he beat Verdum and Mark Hunt.
Yeah.
You know, Overeem is still one of the top heavyweights in the game, despite the fact that he's been fighting for so long.
But he didn't look good tonight. Let's be
He
honest.
didn't look great, but he didn't look terrible.
I mean, Blades was okay, but he wasn't that great either. So I don't know. We'll see.
Blades is one of the top 4 or 5 guys in the division right now.
I know that, but it was an okay fight. Okay.
I think definitely Rashad Evans needs to retire.
Yeah, that's another one.
He
Yeah.
loses in 53 seconds with a knee to the face,
Man.
loses by knockout. Rashad has now lost 5 in a row. The last time he won a fight was Chael Sonnen in 2013. It is time to call it quits, Rashad. You've had a great career.
Yep.
You're 38 years old, but it's just getting worse and worse. The knockout tonight,
Evans
it's
is
over.
done, yeah.
Wally on the chat here, he's agreeing. He says Rashad Evans is done. I agree, man. He's had a great career, former world champion, but that's enough. After tonight, I don't want to see Rashad anymore.
Bedtime for Bonzo.
Who's Bonzo?
Some monkey from the past.
Like you? Are you talking about yourself?
Yeah, that's it.
What else happened here tonight? We had Sergio Pettis with a nice split decision win over Joseph Benavidez. Big win for Pettis. Puts him closer in line for a title shot against Demetrius Johnson. And we did find out tonight that Demetrius' next opponent will be Henry Cejudo for that flyweight title. So Cejudo is next up for who I think is the best fighter in the world, Mighty Mouse Demetrius Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's number one. Anything else on this card you want to talk about? We're gonna wrap this. We're gonna wrap this baby up. If you guys got any final questions, get them in
the Ricardo
now.
Lamas fight wasn't bad. It was interesting.
Yeah, Bektic beating Lamas by split decision.
Yep.
Bektic had Faraz Zahabi in his corner.
No comment.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, Charles Oliveira with a nice win over Clay Guida, submitting him with
I'm
a
surprised
guillotine.
on that.
A guillotine choke, 2 minutes,
Wow.
18 seconds in. Didn't
Yeah.
take long.
I completely was wrong in that pick. Not that I don't like Charles. I really like Charles, but I didn't think that he was going to be able to beat Clay. But wow, that's a surprise right there. Hey guys, who's that?
Franco saying, hey.
Hey Franco,
What's up,
man?
Franco? Antoinette says no wrap up too early. It's like 2:15 in the morning, and we've already been going on this pre-show or post-show for almost 40 minutes.
Plus 10 coffees. It's not helping.
Yeah, we're
the hood. It's not good.
I gotta put Wrestling Uncensored on the internet.
Dave never stops. He never sleeps.
We've got a lot of work to do. The
Man.
work isn't done. It's 2:15 in the morning. Wally wants to know what's next for the winners and losers. Who would you set them up to fight next? Let's try and figure that one out real quick. Robert Whittaker, what does he do next? Any ideas? I got no ideas. I have no idea.
I'm sure most people would want to see this fight happen again.
No.
It'll be a trilogy fight.
Oh, come on.
I'd like to see... You know what? I would see it again. Just heal up. I'd see like the third fight on these guys.
No. I don't want to see it again. Let me look at the rankings. There's nobody at middleweight. I think Kelvin Gastelum is probably next.
He was there. He was watching the fight, so...
I think Gastelum is probably next for Whittaker. That's what I would do.
Antoinette, no, not again. Really, eh? I don't know.
Yeah, see, Antoinette agrees with me. Yeah, I would probably put Whittaker up against Kelvin Gastelum next. Romero, I don't know. Make him go up to 205 pounds. He can't make 185 anymore. As far as Covington, obviously you put him up against Tyron Woodley. Dos Anjos, don't know. He lost a fight. Doesn't really matter. See where he goes next. Like we said, Holly Holm, probably Amanda Nunes. Tai Tuivasa and Curtis Blades would be a good matchup. That'd be a fun fight.
Yeah, that could be fun. Sure.
They both won tonight in the heavyweight division. 2 guys on the come up.
Yeah.
And yeah, for Whittaker, like I said, probably Kelvin Gastelum would be next. If you look at the middleweight rankings, it's Gastelum. And then it kind of drops off. Jacare, Derek Brunson, David Branch.
Yeah,
I think
that could be interesting.
Gastelum, to me, is the most obvious pick.
Dos Anjos versus Maya. Yeah, that could be a good fight.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I like that.
Wally likes that. Yeah. Some good fights to make coming up in the UFC, and we'll preview those and give you more recap of the news in the UFC on Friday night with Fred, the real Fred.
Except he's not going to be there this Friday.
Oh
so
yeah, the real Fred won't even be there.
Fred's going to be fishing.
So we'll
have
do
Johnny
it.
North.
Well, hopefully, I haven't spoken to him.
No? Well, if Johnny's listening, you're there Friday night, Johnny.
Yeah, hopefully Johnny is watching and you'll show up on Friday night with myself and Anthony, if you can handle it.
Oh, he can handle it.
And Wally says Punk versus Esparza. I don't think so. I don't think we do that type of thing. All right, so we're gonna wrap this thing up. Follow Anthony on Twitter at Danny Bruck. You can follow me at Dave Simon MMA. Thanks to everybody for watching and 25 post show. See ya. Boom.